does certain things. Are you all with me? Yeah, okay. My granddaughter does certain things. I will not say, no, you can do, no. I will always say, you have to refer to your mom. You have to ask if your mommy can give you that, then it's okay. Don't, because children are very smart. They know that if I come and ask, Pati, she will give it to me, that sort of thing. So I will say, no, your mommy must say, okay, she must tell me, then only I will give it to you, that sort of thing. So you need to communicate with your parents who are living with you to say that we want to have, certain guidelines. We want to do this with the children, and please cooperate with us. Children these days are not like the children those days when I was a kid. You can explain to them, make them understand, and say that, yes, you can do certain things, but do it through me. Don't just do it without me. That communication is very, very important, right? What is the effects of helicopter parenting towards children when they grow up? Well, a lot of parents these days are doing helicopter parenting. They want to like oversee everything like a helicopter view. It is not the best. As I mentioned to you, you need to have the active listening. You need to talk to your children. You need to make them, understand, this is what my mom wants, this is what my dad wants, this is what the rules, routines, all that is so, so important. You cannot do helicopter parenting with children and expect them to have good behavior. Okay? My baby boy likes to throw things and hit others when angry. How to handle him? Very, very simple. When you say baby boy, how old is he? If he's like less than 6 months old, he's not doing it intentionally. He's just doing it as like a game. He's throwing and he's getting some reflex. He's seeing how the people attending to it. So when he likes it, he continue to do it. So when you are teaching the right thing, let's say, give him a softball and get him to throw the softball and say, catch, that kind of thing. So just don't give the wrong things to the child, because the baby boy does not know what he or she is holding. And then give the right thing. Give the softball, get them to throw, and make them learn that this is a game. It is not to hit others, that sort of thing. When they are young, it can be taught in a nicer manner, not just, again, scold the child, because the child does not know what he's doing. He's not aware of creating the pain in somebody. He's not aware. He's only doing it, seeing the reaction of the other party. If the other party is like screaming, he thinks that's fun. Hi, they laugh, that sort of thing. So you can handle it by giving the right thing and showing that which is a game, which is not. All right. How to set rules if we are staying with parents? The same question just now. Yes, I never gave gadget to my child. Very good, Dominica. My daughter, 3 years, she can't talk but can talk but can't speak up spontaneous. Only talk when she wants to talk. Well, you need to actually see what is the reason. Find out what is the reason that she's not talking, speaking spontaneously. Meaning, like you maybe didn't play enough with the child, or the child doesn't have friends to play with. So sometimes certain children, they are not talking as much as they used to talk because of the environment that they are in. They are not exposed to. And tell them stories, get them to retell the story, like when you, very short story, ask her to tell, can you tell me what is that story about, or ask questions. So getting them, engaging them, it is very important to engage them. Even if that does not work, then, but you said that she can speak, right? So I wouldn't suggest you to go to a speech therapist, but if she can speak, that means she just needs motivation. She just needs more, what do you call, information, like, or even friends, some things to, talk about and things like that. So maybe read to the child, tell stories and that sort of thing. All right. Now, what are other questions? Let me go from up now. School age still do imaginary play. Sometimes it continues up to 8 years old. You can slowly take away the imaginary play by telling them that you don't have to imagine. Sometimes now you're old enough to do real, that sort of thing. Explain to them imaginary is only for little children when they don't have enough friends and things like that. You can let them outgrow that, okay? Don't laugh at them. Remember, when you laugh at them, they may do it in your absence. You join them. You join that. Wow, what about this imaginary friend that you have? Like you talk. And then after that, you explain that, do you still need the imaginary friend? I had a friend who had a son who actually had the imaginary friend up to 8 years old. He will, like, whenever they want to go out, he will say, my friend is in the cupboard, the kind of thing, that they think that that particular imaginary friend is alive and he or she is there and things like that. It was like really scary, but he outgrew it. Okay. And what else? I think I read all the questions. Hit others when angry, how to handle. My boy likes to throw things and hit others when my baby boy. Okay, done. What are the effects? Okay, tantrums are common among toddlers, but how do we handle it when being gentle and redirect method are not working? Okay, you say that the throwing tantrums did not work. It will work, huh? You know why? When you say it's not working, is because you are giving attention to the tantrums. You are giving attention to the tantrums. That's why you say it's not working. When you don't give attention, meaning you ignore when he or she is throwing tantrum, ignore it. And it's okay. How long will he cry? How long will he go on? So don't give the attention, and then he will realize that his tantrum is being ignored, and he eventually will let go, right? A lot of children, they know that the parents give the attention when they throw their tantrums, and by that, they will get what they want. So the parents lose to the children, but it is not good because eventually they will show the tantrums for things that you really don't want to give, and they throw tantrums. So ignoring, don't ignore the child, but ignore the behavior. Remember these, parents, write it down if you need to. Don't ignore the child, but ignore the behavior, because the behavior is throwing tantrums. Ignore it, but don't ignore the child. I didn't ask you to, walk away and go away somewhere. You keep your, like the 45-degree eye view, like little bit, just to know that he is safe and sound. But the behavior you are ignoring and you are concentrating. This is when your redirection comes. You're actually redirecting to something else. For example, you're calling your spouse, or if you have another child, you call that child. You do something so exciting that the one who is showing tantrum will leave and come to you. All right, see, that is important. Ignore the behavior. If you give attention to that behavior, the behavior will still continue. Okay. All right. And my son does not want to give eye contact when I'm having conversation with him after he did something wrong. What should I do? You can hold both his hands, and you say, you will not let go until he sees your eyes. So he has to give you eye contact. Just hold. Don't do it in a very harsh manner. Do it in a very nice, soft manner, and then just hold and say that I want you to look at me. I want you to look at my eyes. That sort of thing. Get him to do it eventually. It will take for one time, twice, but finally he will give in by looking at you, and that's when you talk. All right. And I would like to share another incident. I used to tell my daughter, the youngest one, look at my eyes when you talk to me. And there was one time I was cooking, and then she comes to me. She was about 5 years old. She comes to me and she tells me something, and I was cooking. Then I was like replying her, and she turned around and asked me, you are not looking at my eyes when I'm talking to you. So well, you see, children are very smart, and you have to explain. You have to say, if I look at your eyes at this point of time, I will burn my finger because I might put it in the fire, right? I'm cooking. So you have to wait until I finish what I do, then I'll give you my eye contact. So remember, the parent has to communicate and tell them the reason, not just like shout and scream and say that you don't have other time to come and ask me, that sort of thing. Then they will not ask you anymore. All right. Okay. I hope I answered your question, Ku Yenny. Okay. And doctor, do ADHD is common among children in Malaysia? ADHD caused by the way of parents treat their children, or is there any reason? Okay, first of all, Vignesh, you do not diagnose your child or anybody ADHD. You cannot. I cannot. It has to be diagnosed by a psychologist, child psychologist, or the child pediatrician. They have to tell you that your child has got this issue. You cannot say just because he's climbing up, he's doing this, he's running around and he's hyper, you can't say that he is ADHD or ADD. Remember, parents, we do not label, neither can the teachers. The teachers can't label their children ADHD just by looking at the way they run around and do things. The teachers have to tell, could you please take your child to a doctor and see what is his problem, and then the doctor is the one who should diagnose the child is ADD or ADHD. All right. Generally, you can Google and see whether the characteristics of ADHD children, does your child do any of those things? If you have like 70% of whatever the characteristics of ADHD child, then you have to consult a doctor, and that is when you need to give one-to-one attention. Normally, they take them to a special school because the one-to-one or maybe 3-to-1 attention is given so that the child can get early intervention. Now, don't think ADHD or ADD is a special child or it's a syndrome where you can't help. A lot of doctors, engineers, accountants these days, they will tell that when they were a child, they were an ADHD child. So remember, if you could have done an early intervention, your child will become very, very normal. In fact, ADD, ADHD children will be super smart. They are very, very smart. So don't straight away go and put them in standard 1, where government school will put them in kelas pemulihan, and that is the end of their life. Don't ever do that. Give them personal attention, solve the issue, and if you can, you can take your child to a specialist and get a better consultation. Okay. All right.
எங்க நிதிஷ் போற?
Okay. What else? My 5-year-old boy sometimes becomes stubborn for wanting something and starts to annoy his big sister or us parents when we ignore him. Redirecting doesn't work all the time. What else can I do? Well, Now, you remember I spoke to you about the triggers. What triggers is his stubbornness? If you know that the stubbornness is triggered by something that, what do you call, triggered by something that has happened earlier in the morning or the food or whatever, you can stop that or you can find out. Otherwise, continuously you have to do that redirecting or something that is pertaining to it, and just make him realize that his stubbornness does not work. Remember, we are the one feeding them. If they are stubborn, you give in, they know that the next time I become stubborn, I will get it my way. I become stubborn, I get it my way. No way you give in to their stubbornness. Try explaining why it is not supposed to be that way. And I think I shared with you those things just now, like how do you do the logical or natural sequences explaining, and if it does not work one time, do it twice, thrice, 4 times. Never get tired of doing it, because eventually you are teaching your child not to be stubborn. Because when you allow them to be stubborn, if they think that stubborn is okay, then that is wrong. Another person asked, my girl is 7. I've always talked to her the pros and cons of hygiene, yet she's still not taking this seriously. Sometimes she was caught lying for not brushing her teeth, and when she asked why she lied, she will just smile. Cheeky fella. What else can I do to improve this? Well, you can use the rewarding method. If you come and show me your clean teeth and I want to smell, wow, nice, then I will give you a star, I will give you a sticker, I will give you this. That rewarding works with this kind of cheeky fellas. Sometimes, yes, they do it. In fact, I would even tell you at this point of time, parents, please do not use the word lying to your children. Don't say, don't lie to me, because they don't really know the meaning of lie. They actually try to tell you something so that you will believe them. So you can tell them, I don't want the story. I don't want you to tell me a story. Use the word story. No, I know storytelling. Tell me the real one. That kind of thing. So you don't, give them that input that lying, there is a word lying. Just continuously say, I don't want stories. Be real. Tell me the real story. Use the word story instead of using the word lying, because sometimes they will also turn around and say, don't lie to me. They'll tell the parent, don't lie to me, and that's not nice at all to hear from a child. Don't lie to the parent. Time out. Sometime my child would scream so loud until our neighbor would hear. How do you control that? Well, I will always use reverse psychology for that. Well, what do? I will tell them, do you need a mic? Because it's not loud enough. So reverse psychology. So they will feel like, I'm screaming out so loud and you're asking me, you want a mic? That sort of thing. So use a reverse psychology method in order for you to get their attention, and also to make them think like, why am I screaming? That sort of thing. And yes, you can always time out with them and say that if you scream, your timeout session will become longer. Now it's going to be 5 minutes, but if you scream, it's going to be 50 minutes, like very long some more. Then they will, slowly understand the rules and regulation of timeout. I know sometimes back when children in a kindergarten, they will enjoy timeout because the teacher will tell them, go to the toilet. So there will be, built-in classroom toilet, and they will go inside there and they enjoy. Before even the teacher tells them time out, they say, teacher, you want me to go to the toilet? So that they could play with the water. So they enjoy the timeout session. So Parents, remember your timeout has to be, what do you call, different method, not every time the same method, because timeout the same way is very boring. Even timeout can be boring. So one day timeout, let's say the calm corner, one day timeout is, I think you have to hold me, maybe get a string or something to tie to your wrist and your child's wrist and follow me wherever I go, because that is your timeout. So it's like making them think very differently. Oh my God, my freedom is gone. I cannot simply run here or go here, go there. So my timeout is with my mom wherever she goes, that sort of thing. So change your timeout methods so that they don't get bored with your timeout. Okay. Now, we are not supposed to teach other parents how to teach their children, but sometimes it's irritating when their children misbehave, yet parents turn blind eyes on this. It affected other people. For an example, we are dining together, the child is watching the phone while eating, but the speaker is so loud, the parents knew the speaker is loud and people are getting disturbed, yet they never take initiative to lower the volume. May I know how to comment this matter to them? Well, this is individual. I definitely have no answer to it, because if I am going to go and tell the parent, can you please lower the volume or not? I don't know what is she going to tell me. So maybe the best is move my table and go away to a further place, because I know, I think some parents are so ignorant about other people. They just don't care. They just put the volume so loud. But what can we do, right? It's either we change the table or make them feel that we are not comfortable with that noise, like do certain things in order for them to realize. But I wouldn't suggest you to get up and go and speak to them, because sometimes it will be embarrassing. There was one time long ago, I saw this particular parent was pushing the baby in the pram, and the baby was given a big thick blanket, and the baby was like covering his or her face entirely, that the child could like get cannot breathe or whatever. So I went to the parent and I said, maybe you should give very small cloth or put it down so that the child doesn't reach. And the parent just turned around and said, mind your own business. So they didn't even want somebody telling them something. So these are some of the incidences that happen to me when I go and approach and tell them. They think that we are interfering in their business. So I just I'm sorry, and I walked away. So I wouldn't suggest you to talk to them, but you can react in such a way that you are not comfortable, or move the table. Okay. Right, my daughter is 5 and she's clingy. Is it okay? Well, this is when your child needs social skills. When the child is clingy to you, the child does not have enough social skills. So how to bring that out is teach the child, take the child to places where there are more children, get them to have friends so that they talk to other friends. There's no point they go on holding to you and they don't learn how to speak to friends and all that. Just read up on social skills, how to teach your 5-year-old, and yes, you can help the child. It is not good to get them to be so clingy. But if you are a parent who does not spend enough time with your child, then you hardly spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes, then the child will become clingy to you. Then that is okay, because your child needs you, loves you. Give more time to your child so that he or she, your daughter, does not want you anymore. She wants to be away from you, right? Spend more time. So I'm not sure what is the reason she's being clingy to you. My youngest son is an autism kid. How can I explain to my eldest son about this situation. Elder son keep complaining to me about his brother, but know that younger son is special kid compared to other kids, so need more patience. Well, it depends how old is your oldest son, because when they are just between 1-2 year old different, they don't understand why they do this. Is because a lot of parents, what they do, they spend more time with the special kid and give less time to the normal kid, and that normal kids want attention. So you need to make sure that the attention is equal in whichever way. Maybe you can talk to your spouse and say that, while I'm attending to this little boy, could you spend some time with the older one so that he doesn't feel left out? That way, the older one will feel that he is also getting the attention. And if he is old enough to understand, you can say that your little brother needs special attention. He needs more time. He wants to be smart like you. So why don't we all together help him? So this is when you get collaboration with your older son. That means when you are doing an activity with your younger son, you get your older son to participate. Okay, can you help, Coco? Can you help do this with your little brother? Making him feel that he's so important. You are also wanted. You are also needed in this, in this situation where we are all together with your little brother. So make him participate. In that way, he will not feel left out. Yeah. And my boy is 10-year-old. He don't have the sense of urgency. Example, we supposed to leave for the school by 6:45 a.m., but in action, no. He will take his sweet time. In his moment, I can, from anger, become more. Any advice to improve this attitude? Okay, the routine works because 10-year-old, you have to tell that in order for you to get out of the house into the car, you need to wake up at 6. You have to leave at 6:45. So let's say 5:45. If he takes 1 hour, since he's a slow person, if it takes 1 hour, you work backwards. Now you wake up at 5:45. If you take 45 minutes, then you wake up at 6. If you wake up later, then you're not going to go to school. You give them that what if kind of thing. Like if you are late, you are not going to go to school. And if you don't go to school, you will be punished by the teacher, not me. You have to make the children understand that this is an action that has happened because of your slowness, you're not waking up early, all those kind of things. Explaining works, get them to do it in a routine manner, right? Yeah, okay. So any other questions? Did I miss out anything? You can unmute and talk to me. If you feel like switching on your camera, you can do so. We are almost coming to the end. It's 9:27. You can switch on your camera. Maybe I could take a group photograph. And if you, how many of you would like to have the PDF copy of the notes that I just shared with you? In the chat box, you can say you want, I will email to you because I have your email addresses. And how many of you would like to have to be included in my other NLP parenting techniques, which sometimes I share it for free. Sometimes it is minimum payment with half-day workshop and all. I'll keep you posted. So if you guys need to be in the loop, I can always email you. No compulsion, no obligation. You want, you can attend. You don't want, it is fine. I do a number of parenting workshops using NLP techniques, how you can handle your children, communicating with your children, and so on and so forth. So if you want, you can always, I will see your name and asking, okay, yes and all. I will email to you and you can go from there, right? Can I have you all switch on your camera? Just take a group photograph, smile. Can I see all of you? Many of them already left. I have only 32 now. Right? Those of you, yeah, I'm waiting. Can switch on the camera. Michelle, Dominica. Okay. Smile. Any more? Want to open? Camera. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So I will look at your input on the chat box, and I will email you the PDF copy for those of you who want. All right. Thank you very much for attending today's session.
Thanks,
Good night.
Dr.
Good night.